Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all to everyone that basically tagged me in this over on Twitter. Ray Fisher tweeted out, well, basically just some accusations against Joss Whedon. Now, I don't particularly care about Joss Whedon. His storied history is pretty well documented. A lot of people have come out and said very similar things to what his ex-wife said, how he essentially groomed people and things like that. But one thing I will say is that the method by which Ray has gone around this is really bad. And there's a few people who are friends of the channel that actually replied to him on this as well and said basically, hey, look, Ray, great that you're coming out. Great. Not coming out like that, but, you know, great that you're coming out and saying this stuff. Probably best not to do it in 240 character limits, though, or whatever it is on Twitter. You know, probably best to actually sit down and explain it. And this is why I will say I like, again, his history, Joss Whedon's history is well documented, but I will question like the reasons behind it. You know, I'm not one person that will instantly just go, yes, 100%, you know, believe accusers, right? Like I'm not one of those people. And I do think like it's strange timing. You could say that it makes sense because, of course, with the current, you know, wave going on. But Ray Fisher's, he doesn't really have a career. So, you know, that plus the fact that we're riding this wave currently, you know, I just question the motives ever so slightly. And it's just skepticism. Healthy dose of skepticism. I think we should all have it. And again, I'm not trying to defend Joss Whedon because I think he's a bit of a poo. So we're going to dive into that today, ladies and gents. My film, we're literally filming in 18 days. Thank you all so much to everyone who has donated. We've got the final update coming soon. The GoFundMe, which is linked down below in the description box, is only going to be open for another 18 days. So please, 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 if you wanted to donate, if you want to be in for a chance of winning a one-of-one hoodie, and then also a one-of-one ornamental prop, which will be signed by everyone, check out the link in the description box because you're running out of time. Now, let's take a look at this, right? So this article here is linked down below, and then we'll just head on straight over to Ray Fisher's Twitter, right? Justice League actor Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, accused director Joss Whedon of abuse. So he basically just tweeted out, Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. He was enabled in many ways by Jeff Johns and John Berg. And now again, remember, I'm not defending Joss Whedon because I do actually believe that some of this stuff is like 100% legitimate. I just question the timing of it. A little bit of skepticism with it. And my point is as well, like all of these other things that have come out here, like Jeff Johns and John Berg, that's pretty well documented. Like no one really likes Jeff Johns. Most people think he's people think he's a bit of a poo. So, you know, I get it. I just question the timing. Now, in terms of what I referenced at the start, and then we'll head on over to the Twitter thread, because I think that's important as well. So Whedon's ex-wife was the one who brought everything to light, and then other people have kind of agreed since then, describing Whedon as a hypocrite preaching feminist ideals. And there's always something funny about that, isn't there? You know, there's always one of those, it's almost like a meme at this point, you know, beware of the white knight, you know, trying to white knight for feminists and stuff. It's very weird, very, very weird behaviour. And apparently that was a smokescreen for his very questionable behaviour. And also remember, ladies and gents, this is quite literally why Joss Whedon fell from public life. People seem to have forgotten. Now, Cole claimed that after their marriage ended, Whedon confessed to him that he used. Oh my God. Anyway, basically his position on Buffy the Vampire Slayer to have numerous affairs. And in one communique he wrote, "When I was running Buffy, I was surrounded by beautiful, needy, aggressive young women. It felt like I had a disease, like something from a Greek myth. Suddenly, I am a powerful producer and the world is laid out at my feet and I can't touch it." I mean, in fact, that's pretty much just a typical red-blooded dude. You know, if you're surrounded by, you know, hot women and stuff like that, you're going to be a bit like, oh, god damn, I wish I could have some fun with that. Like, that's That's just human nature. Men and women think like that, FYI. But then obviously she then detailed that he did touch it. Joss admitted that for the next decade and a half he had multiple affairs and a number of inappropriate emotional ones that he had with his actresses, co-workers, fans and friends while he stayed married to obviously his ex-wife. Cole then added that Whedon told her, "I let myself love you. I stopped worrying about the contradiction. As a guilty man, I knew the only way to hide was to act as though I were righteous. And as a husband, I wanted to be with you like we had been. I lived 2 lives." Again, there's that whole thing. You know, I wanted to hide, put on an act. I was righteous. It's that feminist man thing. Now, anyway, I don't want to get too far into that. I want to go over to the Ray Fisher thing, because, like I say, I don't dispute it massively. I have a healthy air of skepticism. I just question the timing. But basically, this was his tweet, right? And as you can see, obviously, I've been tagged in it by people, so thank you all so much. And guys, please do follow me over on Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. I know everyone's going to shout at me saying get Parler. I'm thinking of it. I probably will. But follow me over on Twitter. Right. Now, obviously, So Johns did kill Batfleck. Yes. And then this friend of the channel, Being Graphic, said, instead of putting him on blast on Twitter, you should have probably had an interview podcast to discuss it in more than 240 characters, Ray. I won't defend Whedon, but I won't believe a single tweet either. And that's the thing, right? We have to have an air of skepticism. I'm not going to defend Whedon blindly. I mean, a lot of people have well documented that he's a bit of a dog. And, at the end of the day, you can't just believe one person. There needs to be a little bit more context behind all of this. Just sitting there saying, Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross. Well, in what way? That's perception, isn't it? He could have just said, go get me a cup of tea. Go get me a coffee. Can you do your fucking job? Come on. There's so many ways that it could be misinterpreted and misconstrued. And I'm not trying to defend anyone, but that is quite literally just a display of how one tweet can just fall apart, right, without the context behind it. Unprofessional and completely unacceptable. Again, by whose standards? By whose standards, right? Tell us what was unacceptable. Tell us what was unprofessional, right? Tell us. Anyway, so Brandon Davis, tweeted with Dan Man. I remember how excited you were about all of this too. I'm sorry you didn't have the dream experience that this role should have been. I hate that. The best is yet to come for you. And then we get all of this stuff, and I really despise this. Speak your truth. No, there's only one truth. The truth. There's no my truth and your truth and my. It's literally just, there is only one truth. It's the truth. The universal truth. And this is what I mean. This is why perception is everything, and why comments like this actually it discredits Ray's initial tweet. Your truth. No. The truth. The truth. Not your truth. The truth. And the more people that start to say this, my truth here, blah, 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 it discredits the initial point entirely. Anyway, Joss's disgusting behaviour is no secret and has been exposed by countless people, including his wife. Something now has to be done. And obviously about Jeff Johns. Yeah, sure. And there, other people have said some other bits and bobs. Gal Gadot did not accept recording the scene in which the Flash falls on top of her. Yeah, look, if you watch Justice League, there are some very strange lingering shots on Gal Gadot's ass. I'm not complaining. Gal Gadot's a beautiful woman. Happy to look at her ass. Of course, more than happy to look at Gal Gadot's ass. However, it is lecherous, right? A little bit rapey. So you can kind of see that this is, developing and growing behind the scenes. And this is the thing, right? Unacceptable behaviour on a set by a director, protected by producers. Shocking. Well, again, we need a bit of context behind it. And then we get all, and then we get the shit posters coming, which inevitably they're going to do anyway. Stop crying, it's a professional. Also, your Daddy Snyder came back to pamper you. Fucking Jesus. Thank you, Ray. Lots of people don't understand what you all went through. No one understands, because he's not said anything. This is the point. I'm happy that people are speaking out on whatever, right? It needs to be done if you feel like you've got a point. But this whole your truth, this truth, it's just the truth, right? And the reason why I say that this is a little bit disconcerting, and I think that there's some the timing of it's a little bit odd, right? So if we go to Ray Fisher's, timeline and things like that, you start to get a feel for what his current mindset is, I guess you could say. And he's not an actor. Like he doesn't. I mean, he's an actor, but he doesn't do anything. He's not someone who's very, very big. I question the timing of it all. And again, like I say, you need to go to tweets and replies. You start to get a feel for what's probably led up to this decision. And again, like I say, a bit of healthy skepticism. I start to question it. I genuinely just start to question it. Like I say, just a rudimentary glance around what's going on, on his timeline. You can get a feel for what's going on. So anyway, thought I'd bring you this. I thought you would find this very interesting. Please do let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. Joss Whedon's dog, not offending Joss Whedon. Ray Fisher, please just give a bit more goddamn context to it. Like, everyone actually wants to know. Like, tell everyone. You can go to tweet longer or whatever it is. Tell everyone. God damn. Like, seriously. Anyway, love to hear your thoughts. I've missed age. Take care.